Welcome back to Tabletop Paper Company's Friday Finance. We are yet again counting down our top 5 cards that have risen in price this week. Quick shout out to everyone who commented on last week's video. I love hearing that you guys found these cards in your collection, and everyone who's engaging, like liking, commenting, subscribing. That's why we're growing, so thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, let's start off at number 5, it's Smuggler's Share. Smuggler's Share is a 3-drop enchantment that reads, at the beginning of each end step, draw a card for each opponent who drew 2 or more cards this turn. Then create a treasure token for each opponent who had 2 or more lands enter the battlefield under their control this turn. I've never played against this card, so I didn't even know it existed, but it seems like a more versatile version of land tax. Granted, it does cost more mana, but both card draw and ramp makes it a really easy card to throw in your 99. It's also an enchantment, so it's a bit harder to remove than some other cards. I think this card is rising in price as people are discovering it. It's a relatively new card and has only been printed a couple times in precons and once as a promo. At number 4 is another enchantment, Boon Reflection. This card makes it so that if you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you may have guessed this is rising in price because of Hope S-Time, and you'd be exactly right. One of the fascinating parts about this card is that it saw a spike at the end of July, and now it's spiking again at the end of August. If you're playing this card in a Hope S-Time deck, it's almost like a Bravak the Grandiloquent, because you're gaining twice as much life, so your opponents are going to have to mill twice as much. Coming up next on the list is number 2 and number 3. Number 3 is Razorkin Needlehead, and number 2 is Nova Hellkite. Razorkin gives you a ton of bang for your buck at only 2 red mana. It has first strike on your turn, and whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to them. And for 5 mana, Nova Hellkite has flying and haste, and when it enters, it deals 1 damage to target creature an opponent controls. It also has warp for 3. There's a super cool reason both these cards are going up in price, and it's because of a great underdog story. Last weekend was the SCG Con, or Star City Games Con, in Orlando, which is a major trading card game convention, and a 3-day standard tournament was held at the convention. On the first day of the tournament, Izzet Cauldron made up 30% of the decks. On the second day, it made up 54% of the decks, and by the third day, when the players had reached the top 8, it made up 75% of the decks. But lo and behold, Mono Red Aggro was the deck that won the tournament. It has both Nova Hellkite and Razorkin Needlehead, so players are picking up their copies to build their own decks. And none of this is ever financial advice, but if you are looking to pick up a new standard deck, now might be the time, especially because there's a lot of rumors that VV Cauldron is going to get banned or restricted in some way. So if Mono Red Aggro is truly going to be the deck to replace the standard meta, these cards are only going to go up in price. If you found this update helpful, you'll probably find future ones helpful as well. So please consider subscribing, and any engagement with the post like a comment really helps us grow. And coming in at the number 1 slot, it's another life gain card. It's Halia Guided by Light. Halia is a 3-drop creature from Edge of Eternities that says whenever Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. And at the beginning of your end step, you draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. It also has warp for 1 white mana. Halia is going up in price because of 2 reasons. First is because it's very playable in Commander, in any life gain deck, but of course, it wouldn't be a finance video if I didn't mention our good friend Raghost. The second reason it's going up in price is because it's found its place in the modern deck, Blue and Taxes. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Check out our TCG Player Store and follow our Whatnot account for giveaways in the near future.